Welcome back to Digibro reviewing all the stuff in my office. Today we're sitting on the couch and watching some television. As you can see, I've got two screens in here. I've got my computer monitor, which is a 1080p Dell Monitor. I've had it forever. I honestly I would review this thing, but I don't really know what to say about it. It's fine. It's got a power button. It's got some options. I keep my brightness really fucking low. And my brightness and contrast are both fairly low, and also it's got flux on. I realize it looks perfectly bright on camera, but that's just because the camera picks up the light of the monitor really well, and my room is so dimly lit that that it might look bright in comparison. But no, it's quite dim, and that's because I have eye problems where if I stare at a monitor for too long, it makes my eyes feel like they're bleeding. This hasn't been as prominent lately. In fact, I used to have it so flux was just on 24/7, but now I just have it like normal where it's off during the day, on at night. Doesn't seem to be a problem. Probably because I have natural light behind me now. So yeah, as you can see, my monitor is of this character 88, who you can look her up. Just search like 88 on Gelboru and you'll find her. I don't remember the name of the guy who designed her, but he's got like a bunch of images of her. Literally all of them are just of this girl hanging out on a spaceship playing old school video games. Like if you look at her Game Boy really closely, she's playing Pokemon, except that she's using Godzilla to fight Mothra. But yeah, I just think it's a really cool image. And you can see my taskbar. We'll probably get into that stuff later. Like, I don't know if I'll do a video about, like, programs and tools or whatever, but maybe. But in any case, yeah, it's just a standard 1080p monitor. Now, this television is a 720p Pro Scan that's kind of a piece of shit. But, because I used to have... I've really never had a TV above 720. Like, my monitor is 1080. Personally, I don't, like, care. Like, I'm not... To me, the difference in 720 and 1080 is fairly negligible. Like, I just don't, care enough about, like, resolution to really worry about having... I guess it would be nice to have a 1080 TV, and, like, that's the standard now. This thing's an old-ass piece of shit. But, like, you know, I have no interest in, like, 4K or anything like that. Because when you get up to 4K, then, like... Let's say you have a 4K monitor, all your fucking programs are going to look tiny. You know, everything's going to look fucked up and small, and I don't like that. I want it to be... 1080 to me is like the right size, the correct size. 720 is too cramped for computers, but when you're like just watching a show or something or playing a video game, it doesn't make a huge difference. Like, yeah, it's not that I can't recognize the difference between 720 and 1080. By the way, when you turn this on, it's the brightest fucking blue in the whole universe. Yeah, this TV is brighter than fuck. You can't even... like, it's so bright that it's fucking with the camera. This is just an even blue. Like, from my perspective, there's just pure blue. And on the camera, it's kind of, like, gradient because it literally can't look at it because it's too fucking bright. Now look how dark that monitor looks in comparison. Like, remember how bright that looked before, and now look at it. It is fucking dwarfed by the blueness of this fucking monitor. Look at the blue it's casting on everything in proximity. Yeah, this is a Pro Scan I got from my friend Josh. He just kind of left it at our house because he works at Best Buy and he worked in the TV section, and I guess he had this for free for some reason. I mean, it's actually pretty fine. Like, it's definitely better than the TVs I had before. But, like, I could stand to upgrade this, you know? But yeah, like, while I can tell the difference between 720 and 1080, quite easily, and I do think, you know, 1080 looks better, it's not so much better that I particularly care. I'm not, like... so blown away by 1080 in comparison to 720 that I feel like I have to watch stuff in 1080. I mean, fuck, I watch lots of stuff streamed, so you know I don't give a fuck about quality. So anyways, this TV, it's got, you know, volume buttons, it's got channel buttons that I will not press, but most importantly is the inputs. So right now I've got it on HDMI 3, which is what my game consoles are hooked up through. Now, I think this one's HDMI 3. this HDMI cord is actually going to my game capture device, the Elgato. And I can probably talk about this. I might as well just talk about it now. This is plugged into the computer as well as the TV for for output. But for input, it's hooked up to whatever game console I want to use. Right now, the 360 is plugged in. Here we've got the PS4 cord, and then we've got my this thing which plugs in there. The Wii is hooked up to it right now. Now this cord, if you buy an Elgato game capture, you need to be very careful because the newest model of the Elgato HD does not have the ability to hook up to old consoles. It only has the HDMI port. Now, the only advantage of the newer one is that it outputs in 4K. But if you want to capture footage from your older games, which you almost certainly do, then you want the one that comes with this port on it. Endless Jess made this mistake. He got the new one not knowing, and he regretted it immensely. So, you know, before you make the same mistake, get the older Elgato if you're buying one. Just check and make sure it's got the AV in port if you need it for that, if you're buying one of these. But yeah, so that's what's hooked up right now. But then I also have my computer monitor hooked up to HDMI 1. So this can also be used as a second monitor. Now you can really see the difference in brightness of, like, this is the same exact image, but yeah, that's with flux on and the monitor turned down to low brightness. This is what it would look like on a regular TV with the brightness probably like all the way up. So if I'm going to watch anime on like Crunchyroll or something, I'm just gonna open it up over here and drag it over to this screen and full screen it and watch it like that. And so that's usually, yeah, those are the two setups. It's important to have them both plugged in, and I can just switch between them on the fly. I don't have a remote for this TV. That would actually be a great reason to get a new TV, would be to have a remote, because I know to some people that might seem obvious. I don't think I've ever had a TV with a remote in my room. Like, if I have, I always lose it. In fact, I can't actually remember a time when I had like a new TV with its own remote and I was really excited about it because I felt like I had so much control. And it's just the kind of thing that when you don't have one, you don't think about it. Like, to me, it's so natural to walk up and press the buttons on the TV, even though it's a huge pain in the ass, you know, to constantly have to do that every time I switch back and forth, because I switch back and forth pretty often. You know, I'm switching between games and monitors all the time, and the buttons are not the easiest to use because, you see, you've got, here's the input button, and to go up and down on the menu, you've got to use the channel buttons, or no, the volume buttons. No, wait. See, this is how I always fuck it up. You press this, then you use the channel buttons to move up and down. Okay, I don't know why that keeps happening. 1, 2, 3, 4... There we go. Channel buttons to move up and down, and then you use the volume button to select. And that is a big pain in the ass because it's hard to tell which one you're using. So it would be nice to have a remote. I just am so used to doing it this way that I hadn't even really thought about it until I thought about buying a new TV. But for now, I'm pretty satisfied with this setup. Like, it could be better, but for now it's fine. I mean, I sit this close to the thing, so it's not like I have to fucking, you know, walk across the earth to go change the shit. And I mean, probably I'm gonna have to change some plugs anyways, especially if I'm game capturing or switching games, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's my monitor and my TV. Neither one is like optimal, but both of them are fine. I just think the most important part is that there's two, that it's a dual monitor setup. I think a lot of people would probably have, like, you know, a second monitor and then also a TV. But since I'm sitting, like, in such a tight space, you know, it would be, like, excessive to have two. Whoa! My phone came off. Anyway. See ya.